You stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels slow, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
All right, welcome everybody into Sim Racing Media tonight. The drivers of the ECR NextGen League, brought to you by Boughton Enterprises LLC, takes on this special track here, the egg-shaped one, Darlington, the Lady in Black, the one of the toughest tracks you'll see here on the iRacing service as these guys get ready to go. I'm Mike Demoni, up in the booth. Joined with me, as was last week, is Joe Manella. Joe, man, how's it going?
Not too bad, man. It has been a week of anticipation as we awaited the Southern Alliance 200 here at Darlington Raceway. Man, I am looking forward to some action-packed, exciting racing.
Yeah, definitely. These guys are set to go for this Southern Alliance 200. A little late getting in here as weather kind of took out my OBS here, but we're back and ready to go. So These guys are on the grid. Let's see if we can go trackside here momentarily.
Yeah, it seems like you know, as technology develops, we are just always behind the curve, and there's always some sort of technical difficulty that gets in the way. But it's all about overcoming those obstacles and being able to adapt and make it work. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we got everything figured out.
Yeah, definitely. These guys are going to be, let's see here. $147 laps tonight. They will have 4 sets of tires. Fuel window looks somewhere between 50 and 58 laps, so they definitely can make it on a couple stops, but we'll see what happens here as they get going. We're going to jump over and go through the grid. Jordan Fisher, Tristan Bailey going to start in row 1. Kane Lee and Michael Carter rolling off in row 2. You will see quite a few different throwback schemes here too as we get rolling through. Adam Boughton with Chris Evans, Dwayne Furtick, red, white, and blue there, and Tyler Burden going to be in his outside in row 4. Row 5, Aaron Miller and Evan Marlowe. Row 6, Evan Stewart, Ethan Brooks. Kent Mueller and Christopher Howell. Anthony Ludi and Brian King in row 8. Row 9, Pete Walsh and Jonathan Dominics. Christopher Roth, Doug Denise, as that pace car is making that left-hand turn. We are set to go here at Darlington. Jordan Fisher going to lead him on down to the start-finish line, and we are green for the Southern Alliance 200.
Caution already. We hadn't even made it a lap yet. That's this goes to show you what kind of what to expect here at Darlington, man. This track can be pretty rough. Jordan Fisher taking the pole away from Tristan Bailey. Tristan Bailey had the pole going through all of qualifying, and then as soon as Jordan came out and ran his lap, he just took that pole right away from him.
So we'll run it back here in a second. All right, let's see if we get this thing figured out here. As we were away, it looks like Jordan Fisher has the lead by almost 0.8 of a second. So he is kind of pulling away. We got Tristan Bailey up there running P2 now.
Yeah, Jordan Fisher, after this last restart, he has just slowly crept up to almost about a second now. He looks pretty strong up front. However, we know how the game goes here at Darlington. Anything can happen, and tire management is definitely going to play a key factor here in this race.
Yeah, it definitely is.
The whole field looks to be a little bit spread out here. Most of the field running about single file. It looks like the closest bit of action we might have for position would be between that number 1 car of Christopher Howell and the number 51 car of Dwayne Furtick.
Oh, we got action now as they're sideways down the backstretch.
Talk about battling for position. I wonder if there was a little bit of a rumble in the jungle there.
We'll go back and take a look here. Aaron Miller involved. Oh, what? Not sure who that was.
Whoever it was, it looks like he just tried to drive his way up to the front.
Yeah. See if we can find out. That doesn't say.
Yeah, that car doesn't have any numbers on it, so it's going to be pretty hard to identify it.
Oh, Grant Applegate. 57.
Yeah, it didn't even look like he tried to check up at all there. I wonder what happened.
I don't know. It looked like he kind of thought nobody was there almost as he was working his way through the field, but
And if this restart is anything similar to the initial start of the race, we could be in for another caution.
yeah, Jordan Fisher getting clear down on that apron, going to try and drive up here and get back in position, and he'll do just that. He'll have Tyler Burden this time to his outside instead of Tristan Bailey. Fisher's trying to get out in front and stay out of the havoc. I believe he got kind of caught up last time when he went through pit lane and wound up kind of back in the middle of the field. But here we go, set to take off once again. Jordan Fisher down on the inside gets a huge jump out to almost 3 car lengths over Tyler Burden before they hit turn 1.
Yeah, Jordan Fisher is sitting about 7th in points. So if he can get a good finish out of this race and potentially even a win, that's definitely going to help his standings in the championship bracket.
Yeah, it definitely will. Tyler Burden has been trying to figure out what he can do to get back up into the top 10 of the points as he's outside of it right now. Christopher Howell trying to get that number 1 to move forward just a little bit. You can see all these guys migrating to the top and try and drive that Larson line. I believe you'll start to see those guys start maybe to use a little bit more, I'll call it the apron, just under that white dotted line you see through the corners.
Yeah, that seems to be the trend here with these next-gen cars is getting down on that apron just a little bit to get a little bit more grip and get some more rotation in that car.
Tristan Bailey, fastest man on the track, 28.93 after those 4 freshies on lap 18. Trying to take that Chase Elliott, Dale Earnhardt throwback scheme to victory lane tonight.
How about that number 29 car, Stan Carnathan? He is up 15 positions since the start of this race. He is inside the top 10 and P7.
Yeah, he is definitely moving up in a hurry here.
You know, sometimes you have drivers that have pace that actually can compete. But they just get stuck in the middle towards the back of the field, and in these tracks where it can be a little bit difficult to pass, they just, might end up getting stuck there. But as soon as the opportunity arises, you might see some of these guys start to capitalize.
Yeah, I would definitely think so.
Tristan Bailey looking really on point there out in front with just over a second gap above Tristan Bailey.
Got Jordan Fisher trying to drive away here. Bailey and Burton usually can hook up and work well together. They've been teammates for a long time here, and those Aeons Chevys seem to just find their way together and usually find their way towards the front.
Yeah, and if they can get hooked up and both get a good finish out there, that's going to do nothing but increase their team points lead over the rest of the teams in the league.
Yeah, definitely something they're looking forward to. Christopher Howe and the Keystone Motorsports Group, new team this year, looking to try and capitalize on some good finishes as well. See who else? Dwayne Furtick trying to battle back through the field after getting caught up in that early race caution.
Yeah, I can see why it was a little difficult to read those numbers on Jordan Applegate's car. That purple really blends in with that black. Nice paint scheme in that Fisher Speed Ford Mustang, but just a little difficult to read those numbers.
Well, especially on the top with the black. It's almost black on black on the roof. The side you can kind of see, but
yes, it looks like it's got a little chrome on the numbers on the doors, but light's probably just not bright enough to make them pop. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care what my car looks like as long as I finish up front. So.
Like Adam Boughton here trying to get that Revolutions Motorsports 94 Toyota up on the podium. He was running fairly well a couple weeks ago. I had that perfect fuel strategy, and it didn't quite play out. He kind of made his bed, though, so he kept out there, kept rolling, and used his pit strategy and still came away with the top 10.
Yeah, you can plan a strategy perfectly, but with how unpredictable these races are, I mean, there's only so much you can plan and strategize. If one thing goes wrong in the race, it can completely throw off your strategy.
Yeah, I definitely can. As you see, Evan Marlowe working his way just inside the top 10. Gets a little loose into that outside wall. Has himself a Darlington stripe as he is trying to close in on Pete Walsh. Pete Walsh running inside the top 10. Usually see him towards the end of the run make his way towards the front. He kind of hangs out, lets everybody else destroy themselves, and kind of capitalizes late.
Yeah, if it's one thing I've learned over my iRacing tenure, it's how you can adapt and adjust to different tracks, right? You have some guys that are better at some tracks than others. It looks like that number 74 car of Pete Walsh is doing pretty well here at Darlington.
Yeah, Darlington is definitely a track that will test your ability to stay focused, because most of these leagues, as Evan Marlowe catches the wall again, you have to stay focused the whole time. I mean, you run 140, 150 laps. I mean, I couldn't imagine if I was in, a real NASCAR running the 500 here. Having to stay focused that long. And I'm envisioning that we're going to see a lot more cautions in the Cup race tomorrow.
Yeah, especially with Darlington being one of the older legacy tracks, so to speak. It's one of the few tracks that hasn't been repaved in the late years here, unlike Rockingham, which has been repaved. But it's real difficult on this race surface here to get some grip on those front tires.
Yeah, and I mean, and both sides of the track are completely different. I mean, you're talking, relatively sharp corners on one end, and then you have the, gradual kind of corner on the other. It's that
long sweeping turn.
Yeah, completely different. So if you lose focus, I mean, it's just going to send you right in that wall. And that's usually why they get that Darlington stripe too.
Completely different from, your super speedway tracks where, I mean, the turns are almost identical. You have to really focus and plan your entry and exit on both ends of the track.
Going back up front here with that fish speed 39 Ford of Jordan Fisher. You can see him kind of slide up towards that outside wall and then drive back down as he gets towards the straightaway.
Yeah, it's what's known in the racing world as a diamond. Getting all the way up to that apex and then getting those front tires to grip and turn back down onto the track and get as straight of an exit as you possibly can.
Yeah, exactly. And one driver that is missing tonight and who is highly upset about it is John Osborne. Sounds like he has some neighbors that need to learn how to drive because he's without power because of an accident. So,
oh my goodness. Well, if he can run outside and hook up his generator, he might be able to finish.
They said our power is out due to a down tree and power line and fire.
Oof. Yeah, and as a firefighter myself, I know all about not being able to put water on electrical fire. So
yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, water makes electricity very angry. Jordan Fisher now pulling out to almost a 1.5 lead on the field, and almost a 6-second lead on third place, Tyler Boughton. It's almost like once the field gets spread out, it's really hard to gain momentum and kind of reel the guys in front of you in.
Yeah, I think this race is going to turn into a track position race, so we'll see if anybody elects to do something a little bit different. I mean, Tristan Bailey and looks like Anthony Ludi already kind of did that as they came down on lap 18 when that caution flew and got 4 tires, and Tristan Bailey's making it work. I mean, he's back up into second place, so just have to see what other strategies are going to come to fruition as those guys work through to get to that pit cycle, which should be extended a couple laps because of that caution, but still I imagine they're going to pit somewhere around lap 60 or slightly before.
Yes, especially with 5 sets of tires, you could get into a position where you can short pit, gain some track position, hope for a late race caution, and still be able to come down pit road for a fresh 4 set of tires and still hold on to some of that position you've gained.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see who else is. Everybody's kind of spread out here quite a bit. There's not too much going on track. Let's see here if we got. Now, this is the closest battle on track. Dwayne Furtick and Doug Denise. Denise back behind Furtick. Furtick in that red, white, and blue Dell machine.
Doug Denise coming in with his Denise Designs. Every time I see his name, I just want to say D-Nice, like that Key and Peele skit. He's coming in with that Denise Designs Toyota here in that all blue Toyota Camry, looking pretty sharp. I've got to say that shade of blue is got to be my favorite color. So he's got something going right. Although, if you ask some of the North Carolina college basketball fans, he's got a little bit of a contradiction going there with that Duke blue and that Carolina blue, but nevertheless, still a sharp paint scheme for Doug Denise.
Yeah, it definitely is. See what else we got going on here. Jonathan Dominic's working his way up through the field inside the top 10. Only driver to break
Stan,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Stan Carnathan up another position up into P6 after starting 17th. Up another one. He's up into 5th, up inside the top 5 for Stan Carnathan. You go, my guy.
He is working his way through the field.
Consistency is key. You know, obviously everybody wants to win, right? You don't go into a race and not anticipate a win, but consistency is key, especially for the long run.
Yeah, Jordan Fisher still running the fastest lap of the race the last time by at 29.74. Kane Lee, not too bad, down in 19th after having come to pit lane to get repairs. So he has a tall task ahead of him. Tristan Bailey with a 29.82 is still pretty quick out there as well.
Yeah, and as we see Jordan Fisher come down and get some fresh tires here, you got to wonder how this pit cycle is going to play out. Well, maybe not. I stand corrected. I was looking at the wrong screen.
I don't think he is quite yet, but he should be looking any time.
Yeah, we are at the beginning of the pit window. However, some of these guys did come down under that last caution and get some tires and fuel. So we would expect anywhere between lap 65 and lap 75 for this first pit cycle.
Yeah, definitely with a couple cautions there. I'd imagine they can get at least a few more laps.
And the larger of a lead that Jordan Fisher can gain on Tristan Bailey, the more of an advantage he's going to have once the pit cycle completes.
Yeah, that's going to be the issue. He's kind of trying to maintain it between 2.3 and 2.4 seconds. Right now, Tristan Bailey on those fresh tires, they've kind of equaled out, if not a little. Tristan Bailey might have used his a little too much here, as his last lap was a 29.77 to Jordan Fisher's 29.69. Looks like Chris Evans is coming into pit, as well as Douglas King right now.
The test of time and how many Darlington stripes you can acquire before your car starts to feel the effects is absolutely going to play a factor into this race. As we see Tristan Bailey going ahead and collecting another Darlington stripe right there.
Yeah, that is one thing that it definitely tests is how loose or how far will you let your car drift up the track before turning down. You can see a lot of these drivers get right up there, almost touch it, and then turn right back down. We are on lap 55 as Jordan Fisher crosses the start-finish line, starting to close in on, not sure who that is, Christopher Roth, the 62 machine. Christopher Roth down a couple laps after having to come get repairs done.
Yeah, Jordan Fisher out up another couple of tenths on Tristan Bailey. I'm curious to see how much the tires are going to play here in these closing laps towards the pit cycle.
Yeah, that draft of Christopher Roth definitely helped Jordan Fisher, as Fisher was able to get a couple more tenths. So it's one of those double-edged sword. If he was a little bit quicker, you just stay behind him and use that draft as an advantage to try and make up and stay out as long as you can as far as time goes.
Yeah, you could see when Jordan Fisher was in that draft, he rocketed out to almost a 3.4 second lead on Tristan Bailey, and now that he's not in so much of a draft, Tristan Bailey is able to knock that down to almost 2.5 seconds as Jordan Fisher comes down pit road for his first green flag pit stop.
Yeah, Jordan Fisher making that turn down pit lane. It is a little rough there trying to get on pit lane here, as we saw.
I think rough is an understatement.
We've seen a few guys decide to see how those barrels work, but Tristan Bailey inherits the lead and has the freshest tires right now as he pitted on lap 18. Tyler Burton is probably going to have to come to pit lane sometime soon here, as Jordan Fisher made his way down, so Burton's the next one, and then you have Howell and Boughton back there as well. Looks like Carnathan came down pit lane on lap 18 as well, so that 29 machine, not only is he inside the top 5, but he is also on those fresh tires. So we'll see what happens after this pit cycle completes with all the rest of the drivers having to come down.
Dan down in the bottom of the field, if he can maintain his position, he is definitely going to be making some championship points and hopefully rocket himself up, hopefully inside the top 30, maybe even the top 25 here in points.
Yeah, looking like that's what he's going to try and do. As we look back through the field, we see Tristan Bailey back up front. And then we'll take a look at Jordan Fisher. Jordan Fisher is the first car one lap down as he is trying to maintain that position. The driver he will have to race is going to be Tyler Burton, as Tyler Burton is in his pit box, going to get some service done as well. And it looks like Jordan Fisher will go right past him in the pits, so he will maintain that lucky dog position here.
Yeah, these guys are going to have their work cut out for them. In the short time that I've been broadcasting for the Elite Cup Series, I've kind of got a handle on how clean and how green these races are. So if it stays the way it is, these guys are going to have their work cut out for them to get out in front and take this win away from Justin Bailey.
Yeah, Tristan definitely threw a little wrench in, I think, some people's plans as he came down early. I believe he'll have to make a pit stop. 68, 75. So I think he'll wind up having to make another one as well. So we'll see what strategy kind of works here. As Bailey's probably going to wind up having to 3. You have got to be hitting me.
And being that this series doesn't have any stages, it's definitely gonna change your driving style as opposed to gaining some stage points, as you really have to be in it for the long run here to ensure that you can lock in some points and finish in the top 10.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built in tested by top-tier sim racers. This isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Special delay there, but we are still watching Tristan Bailey lead this race as the drivers who came down pit lane on lap 18 have found themselves at the front of the field. Dan Carnathan, Anthony Ludi, and Michael Carter. Like Dwayne Furtick also pitted on lap 18.
It looks like just about 9 cars here on the lead lap as everybody starts to come in for this first pit cycle.
Yeah, we're getting to 71 here, so we'll see if Bailey's going to come in. I'd imagine it's going to be within the next couple laps here.
Yeah, if his strategy is anything like it was last week at Texas, he is definitely going to be pushing his car to the end of his pit window.
Yeah, Tristan Bailey dominated last week, led 134 of the 160 laps, so definitely has found some rhythm here. Was the only two-time winner so far in the ECR NextGen series. And Tristan Bailey has a 19.5-second lead over Stan Carnathan right now, so.
Yeah, I'd say he's doing pretty good for himself.
Jordan Fisher is between Stan Carnathan and Tristan Bailey. As Stan Carnathan comes in, first driver to blink, and it looks like Tristan Bailey is going to also make his way down as he gets a little loose there, going from the track to the apron, and he is down on pit lane.
Yeah, and Tristan Bailey, if you look at from a statistical standpoint, he's got credit for 5 races in the series. He's won the pole on 3 of them, and he's got 2 wins. So he is definitely showing some consistency and some dominance over this series.
Yeah, he has definitely found something here as he falls down the leaderboard for the moment, he is in his pit box, and Jordan Fisher goes by. Tristan Bailey on his way out.
Anthony Ludi going to go ahead and get some laps led in this race here at Darlington.
I mean, might as well. You get a point for leading, so might as well stay out, try and lead a lap. Especially if you're fighting your car or don't necessarily like the track, take advantage of it, get that point, and basically move on to the next race.
Yeah, it's almost a take all you can get while you can get it.
Looks like Christopher Roth had an issue. Let's see if we can go back and take a look, see what happened to him as he is. Nope. Happened too long ago for iRacing.
Yeah, I don't know if your iRacing did what mine did, but I almost had a seizure right there.
Yeah, it did. It's a no. Ludi, Carter, Nice, and Walsh. Ludi coming in. Or not. Having the same issue I had about 10 minutes ago. Michael Carter coming in. So Jordan Fisher is running P4 now, and Tristan Bailey P5. But they are separated by almost 15 seconds.
Yeah, that is one heck of a gap, if you ask me.
And now Fisher has migrated to P2 after Ludi and Pete Walsh come down.
Yeah, and then as soon as Doug Denise comes down pit road, Jordan Fisher's going to cycle up to the front, and that's exactly what had just happened.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what, Mike? You are absolutely right. If it stays green, Jordan Fisher's only going to have to make one more pit stop. Some of the other drivers might end up having to make two.
I would say Bailey's only going to have to make one more, but the problem is Jordan Fisher's going to make it, I'm going to say, 15 laps before Bailey does. And we saw what he's able to do. I mean, he has a 14-second lead right now.
Yeah, and if Tristan can get fresher tires with as big of a gap as Jordan Fisher's got right now, I really don't think anybody's going to be able to make up that gap unless something catastrophic happens, but fingers crossed. I don't want to wish bad juju on anybody, so
yeah, I don't want to wish bad juju on anybody, but right now we have 3 cars on the lead lap.
And that's going to bring a big old ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, you got Jordan Fisher, Tristan Bailey, and Christopher Howell on the lead lap. Adam Boughton back here in 4th. Stan Carnathan in 5th. Evan Marlowe up to P6. Dwayne Furtick.
Yeah, and
Anthony Ludi, Doug Denise, and Michael Carter are the top 10.
yeah, and these cars that are a lap down, they're going to have to wait for Jordan Fisher to come down for her second green flag pit stop before they're going to be able to get their lap back. So it looks like Jordan Fisher, Christopher Howell, and Tristan Bailey are going to be fighting for a win here.
Oh, and look who is on track. Osborne was able to make it. I mean,
The power gods have spoken.
that is a awesome Mountain Dew throwback scheme there, though.
It really is. I love me some Mountain Dew, I tell you that. Do the do.
Well, and the nice thing about him getting on when he did, he's got enough laps, and there was enough carnage early in this race. He can make up quite a few positions here.
How many laps has his power outage put him down?
80.
80. Oh.
Yeah, he's just completing lap 8 now.
Hey, listen, I'd rather finish a race 80 laps down than get a DNF. So,
Well, as long as he can get 50 laps, he'll wind up with the top 20. So.
you know what? That's not bad under the circumstances. We are rooting for you, John. We are rooting for you, buddy.
Wayne Furtick trying to get by Marlowe and out of the way of Tristan Bailey.
Yeah, I can't imagine how difficult it would be, with two cars being a lap down, fighting for a position amongst themselves and working around the traffic of the race leader who's got a absolutely commanding lead over the whole entire field. So,
Yeah, Dwayne Furtick's going to be thinking what could have been, as he's been pretty quick all night. Just got caught up in that one incident, and now he's kind of found himself back behind the 8-ball trying to make some adjustments and figure out how he can get that 51 Chevy moved forward.
Stan Carnathan still looks really strong out there in the 5th position here, still up 17 spots from where he started. I'd bet money that he ends up with a top 5 finish here.
The way he's running, he definitely has found something. At the 94 Toyota with Adam Boughton up here, moving his way to P4.
Yeah, if only my Amazon drivers drove as fast as Adam Boughton does in his Amazon Prime car.
Yeah. Let's see, Jordan Fisher probably going to start dealing with more lap cars here momentarily. No, pretty clean in front of him. I thought he was going to wind up catching some pretty quick here. Wait, it looked like he was rolling through.
Looks like it's maybe, I don't know, about a second and a half behind the next closest lap traffic. So a few more laps, he'll be up there.
Tristan Bailey trying to close in, but that gap is getting bigger, not smaller. As now Jordan Fisher is out to almost an 8.5 second lead.
Yeah, it's tough enough trying to overcome a 1 second deficit, let alone just over 8 seconds. But stranger things have happened, so we shall see.
Yeah, definitely. It's all going to come down to this last pit stop and what everybody elects to do here. Jordan Fisher made it around like Carter back there, so
yeah, I could almost anticipate Jordan Fisher's going to aim to come in pit road anywhere between lap 110 and 120.
I came in on lap 57, so yeah, you're probably pretty close to that. I'd imagine 110 is probably where he's going to be looking here, as Bailey could go a little bit further, but I don't know, maybe he tries to short pit a little bit as he gets that wall right behind John Osborne.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be looking to see when Jordan Fisher comes down pit road. You almost could argue that his best chance of winning is to pit when Jordan Fisher pits, and hopefully be able to get on some even playing field as far as tires and possibly even cut that gap down some by the time they exit pit road.
Yeah, definitely looks like that's probably what he's going to try and do here. Completed lap 99.
Just under 50 laps to go here at the Southern Alliance 200 in the Elite Cup Racing Cup Series at Darlington Motor Speedway. 32 laps to go. We are, how do I say this? Graciously awaiting to see what kind of shenanigans can go on here in the closing laps of this race. Lovely. Huh.
Well, let's see if that if that fixed it. If not, we'll say it should have. This is crazy.
Looks like we're back up now. So.
Yeah, I've never had this many issues. I don't know what's going on. Unless the wind decided to blow down a line or something. So right now, Tristan Bailey's driving out as far and as fast as he can, hoping that he can stay out in front of Jordan Fisher, but that gap is going down in a hurry. Oh, as Bailey gets a little loose there, as Tyler Burden trying to help him along.
Yeah, Tristan Bailey doing what Tristan Bailey does. He's going to be pushing to the very end of his window and have as much tire as he can possibly have for these last 27 laps after he goes in and does his pit.
He can go probably about another 8 or 9 laps.
I mean, he's holding a pretty good lead. He's still holding steady at just about 31 seconds over Jordan Fisher. Although it looks like it's slowly... It looks like Jordan Fisher's slowly gaining on him, so...
Yeah, Jordan Fisher slowly gaining on him. But at the same time, Tristan Bailey is hopeful that one of those yellow flags comes out, because that will reset it, and it will be basically a 2-car race.
Yeah, all it's going to take is for that caution to come out, and then Tristan Bailey and Jordan Fisher will be back on an even playing field.
Fisher trying to get by, trying to get his lap back the hard way. Tyler Burton hard into the wall.
Jordan Fisher is behind the leader in second place, and he is still a lap down. That's just almost unheard of.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you have these varying strategies by over 25 laps as well, and you have this clean race.
Yeah, it is very rare. Oh, Tristan Bailey up there kissing the wall a little bit. It's very rare to have races go green this long. I mean, it is fun, but it's got to be frustrating for guys like Tristan Bailey who have the pace and have the speed to contest for a win here, and are just stuck behind on pit strategy.
Yeah, hopeful that something would happen, and then it didn't, and now you're kind of like, now what do I do? Working lap 26 now. 126.
Yeah. It's almost like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you pit, you're going to get a caution. If you don't pit, you're not going to get a caution. So it's like, what do you do?
Yeah, I think if you're Tristan Bailey, you stay out and you hope for a caution to come out. And he's coming down pit lane, so he must be just about out of fuel here. And that's going to definitely turn the lead over to Jordan Fisher. He's coming through 3 and 4. Is he going to be able to? Everybody's kind of getting out of his way here as he just goes by Tristan Bailey. Bailey's still in his pit box. 14 seconds in, and now Bailey's on his way out. We'll see what the gap is once they get back to racing here.
Yeah, he's going to have his work cut out for him. As it stands right now, it's just about 20 seconds as he gets out up to speed here.
And he's coming through 3 and 4. So 20 seconds back. Jordan Fisher is going to just set sail, try and maintain that gap back to Bailey and just try and stay out of trouble for now.
Yeah, Bailey's going to have to work to at least gain about a second to a second and a quarter, maybe even a second and a half per lap if he's going to be able to get up to Jordan Fisher with a few laps to spare.
And he could. He just ran a 28.92, tied the best lap of the race of Jordan Fisher, but I mean, you still have 20 seconds you have to make up.
Yeah, if we look at Jordan Fisher's last run or last lap, he was at a 29.6, with Tristan Bailey at a 28.92. So Justin Bailey running just a tad bit faster. So we'll see how much ground he can make up here.
Let's see. Anthony Ludi and Doug Denise are probably going to have to come down pit lane, or it's going to be close for them as they came down on lap 80. And Jordan Fisher's right on the rear bumper there of Denise.
Yeah, Tristan Bailey, he's been able to cut it down about 2 seconds in the last 2.5 laps, so he's got some good pace.
It's down to just under 17. But he is going to have to drive the wheels off that thing. He's going to be able to catch Jordan Fisher. And right now, there is no way, if it stays green, that Tristan Bailey is going to catch Jordan Fisher.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. If Anthony Ludi, Doug Denise, and Christopher Howell keep battling the way they are, that probably would be where the caution would come out. Oh my God! Did I just speak it into existence? No. Oh my goodness.
Jump to the pits. Jump to the pits, Doug. Jump to the pits. You're still green, I think.
I must have some sort of ESP telepathy thing going on, because that's 2 races in a row that I almost spoke a caution into existence.
So 15.5 seconds. A little over. And going to be 10 laps to go. And the caution that you spoke of did not happen.
That was really close to being a caution.
Yeah, the only thing that saved him was how wide iRacing says that the apron is. So it said he spun off the racing surface. No caution. Lucky for Jordan Fisher.
Well, I mean, we got 7 laps going down the back straightaway, so I mean, excuse me, 7 lanes.
Yeah. Anthony Ludi, Stan Carnathan, Michael Carter.
What did I tell you earlier? I could bet money that Stan Carnathan's going to pull out a top 10 finish here. He's in prime position for it.
Fisher up there on the wall, drives it down. Going to get behind Ludi, go down to the inside. Going to make that pass nice and easy heading down the backstretch. just happened? Something is definitely messed up with the scoring right now. Fisher's entering turn 3, and Bailey's just now starting the backstretch. So it went from 17 to 7.
Oh wow!
Oh, I don't believe that for a second. Well, let me see if we can bring up the track map.
I think it's right.
He's 2 corners ahead. Not sure how that scoring's messed up that much, but still fine. 6 laps to go. He's not making up a second a lap.
In one hand, you have Jordan Fisher, who's praying that a caution doesn't come out, and in the other hand, you have Tristan Bailey, who's probably screaming on the inside for one.
Yeah. Tristan Bailey and Christopher Howell all screaming for one. Hoping something would happen here. 5 laps to go. Going to be 4 as soon as Jordan Fisher gets to the stripe. Grant Applegate just threw down the fastest lap of the race, 28.73.
He must have put some mustard on that thing because that boy was cooking.
Almost 0.2 faster than the fastest lap of the leaders. Free to go. Going to be 2 here as Jordan Fisher goes to the inside of Christopher Howell. And Applegate's right behind him, fastest man on the track. Two laps to go here with Jordan Fisher leading.
Everybody likes to think of a qualifying lap as a money lap, but this one right here is definitely going to be the money lap here for Jordan Fisher as he comes across the start-finish line to take the white flag here at Darlington Motor Speedway for the Southern Alliance 200.
Yeah, Jordan Fisher has done everything right, made the right calls on that pit box. Comes down, 2 stops the race. Nice and easy through 3 and 4. Jordan Fisher wins at Darlington. Tristan Bailey in second. Christopher Howell going to be coming across in third.
And how about the Cinderella man of the night, John Osborne? You called it a top 20 finish for him. Jordan Fisher burning it down as the winners do.
Jordan Fisher, Tristan Bailey, Christopher Howell. See if we can get Christopher Howell up here in the booth for you. Maybe. There you go, Joe.
Christopher Howell, this is Front Row Joe and Mike in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. How are y'all tonight?
Good, man. So congratulations on the podium. It was one heck of a race for you guys up there in the top three, with almost the entire field going a lap down through those green flag pit stops. What was your strategy to end up with a third place finisher tonight?
I tell you what, man, I don't even feel like a third place finisher a lap down. Those two lapped everybody except for themselves. But hey, I just was hitting my marks, trying to stay steady. Yeah, I don't know what those guys were doing. They were just on a different planet. But all in all, it's a good night. Get good points night for myself, and I mean, I really like Darlington, but this is my first full-time race with this new package, and I'm sure it is for these guys too, but they just got something figured out.
Well, you've done something right. You've got a third place finish after starting 14th, so you definitely figured something out, although it wasn't exactly what was needed to get the win done. But you did come away with a podium. And I would like to congratulate you on that podium. Anytime you can come away with a top 5 finish is a win in my book, especially if you look at things from a championship point standing. So, is there anybody that you'd like to give a thanks to or a shout out here before we let you go?
Yeah, I just want to thank my teammates that were in the channel tonight, Chris Evans and Jonathan Dominics. I'm not sure where they finished. I think Jonathan was 16th and I think Chris was 19th, but I know they would probably like to do a little bit better, but it is a tough track. Then I just want to thank all my other teammates that were not here tonight, and of course you two for broadcasting and all the league admins. They put on a really good league, and a lot of green flag racing tonight. I think we had one caution, so very surprising for Darlington and this horsepower package and this new aero package. So big kudos to the whole league, just running so clean tonight. And yeah, that's all I got, and just thankful that I scored some good points. Like you said, this is points racing. Unfortunately not a win, but that's okay. Maybe we'll get one next week.
Yes, sir. All right, so we will look to see you next week at the Rock. So I hope you have a good night.
Awesome. All right, y'all have a good night.
All right, let's see if I can get Tristan here. Hey, Tristan, Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going? You there, Tristan?
Oh, I've been muted this whole time. Damn it. Yeah, I was sitting there talking to Jordan. I thought I was not muted, but I was muted the whole time. That's great.
Jeez. I just thought you didn't want to talk to us. I mean, come on. No. Well, you tried a little different strategy there with that early caution where you came down on lap 18, and it looked like it might have been the strategy that would work if a caution would have came out at the end of the towards the end of the race, but never did come to fruition. But how was your strategy overall?
I don't know. I just had to try something different besides the leader. He did not fall off at all as much as I would on the long run. So whatever he was doing, kudos to him. I tried a different strategy. It didn't quite work out, but like I said, I can't complain about coming out here with a second place finish and being the only other car on the lead lap. So I guess that's not bad, right?
Yeah, definitely not. You guys definitely put on a show. And we were glad to be watching it. How do you feel headed into the Rock now after being at Darlington?
Never touched it, so I guess it'll be interesting next week.
All right. Well, anybody want to thank before we get you out of here for your second place run tonight?
My wife for watching, my mom for watching, my grandmother for watching, and then you guys for broadcasting. Adam for the league and how everything's ran. Like I said, I think we only had that one caution tonight, so it's not too terrible. And then just my team just have unlucky breaks again, but we had Stan come home with a P5, which is decent. He hasn't ran in a minute, and then Evan had some wheel damage, and then Tyler, I think he just been a little bit on edge lately, so he kind of loses his cool a little bit after a little incident when he hurts himself. So, but other than that, thank you guys again, and shout out to Jordan. That he was pretty quick tonight, and I don't know what I could have done differently, honestly.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats, and we'll see you next week.
Later.
All right, Joe. I will bring down Jordan. You can talk to our race winner.
All right. Jordan Fisher, this is Front Row Joe and Mike in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, you must have been a marathon runner in your previous life because you absolutely ran away with this one tonight, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely put in the time to, really focus on some good long run speed at Darlington.
Yeah, it looks like your strategy kind of worked out for you with coming down and taking some tires there on that first caution. What was kind of your mindset after that caution came out and throughout the rest of the race?
Well, I didn't pit during the caution. I think that was Tristan and a few other people that did. I stayed out, so then I did pit around like 53. So my whole strategy was just break it and pit twice. It's between 50 and 100 at that point. So yeah, just had good pace. That was kind of the plan. I wanted to stick with it. I knew with them strategy, but sticking with it, especially with the team and working with Grant and Evan out there, definitely helped to get the win tonight.
Yeah, and you know what? You are right. I got you and Tristan confused. I do apologize for that. But so getting a win tonight is going to give you some good points for your championship standings as we go into the Rockingham next week. Do you have any potential strategy plans for next week, or is that something that's still to be determined?
Just to be determined. I've raced a couple times at Rockingham with the new surface there, so from there it's just we'll put in the time to practice and we'll see how we come up. I'm sure we'll TI racing will always show up with a lot of speed, but yeah, we're looking forward to. I know it will be a good race out there, and hopefully another long good green flag run.
And that sounds like a plan. So is there anybody that you would like to give a thanks to or shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank my family for watching, everybody that continues to support and watch every time I race out there. I want to thank the entire Fish Speed Brakes community, everybody that's a part of that. So working on this NextGen A-Fix car, working on getting people faster, and working on just, ripping laps together. It's a great community with a bunch of people. More than welcome to check that out. All the people here, iRacing, Chris Lewis, for giving me this awesome ride. We've just been on fire last couple races, and you guys for putting on this great broadcast as always.
Awesome. That was Jordan Fisher, your pole sitter and your winner here tonight for the Southern 200 at Darlington Motor Speedway for the Elite Cup Series. Y'all have a good night, Mr. Fisher.
Let's go ahead and bring up the race results here. Jordan Fisher led the most laps and won the race. Tristan Bailey in second, and Christopher Howell rounded out that top three. One caution tonight. Grant Applegate ran the fastest lap with a 28.72. And with that, that will do it from Darlington. Anything you want to say before we pack it up and head to the Rock?
I would like to, I'd like to say for the drivers that are going to be running next week, watch out for that wall coming out of turn number 2. It will sneak up on you, like a massive heart attack. Again, thank you to Sim Racing Media, for allowing me to sharpen my skills and be a part of the team here on the broadcasting team. And thank you to Elite Cup Racing for choosing Sim Racing Media to be their broadcaster for their 2026 season.
Yeah, definitely. I want to thank everybody who tuned in on YouTube. Sorry about the issues we had, but it looks like we got it corrected just in time to see the end of the race. So those guys were able to kind of put on a show. Would have been interesting to see what would have happened with the late race caution, but nonetheless, Jordan Fisher, your dominant winner here tonight at Darlington. With that being said, from all the drivers of the ECR Next Gen League and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to wish you guys a good night. We'll see you next time.